Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's episode, we are going to talk about why things may get worse for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies before they get better. So if you want to find out more, stay tuned for today's episode. All right guys, happy Sunday. And on this happy Sunday, I have one word for you. Fear. Fear is big. Fear is huge. Fear is the thing dominating markets right now and dominating the news and dominating public sentiment. Everybody is afraid. Everybody's afraid. Not me, I'm not afraid, but everybody else is afraid. Because fear is strong. Cuts deeper than the sword. It grips you. You feel it. And when we see stuff like this, graphs like this, it's scary. Really scary. Oh my goodness, coronavirus spreading all over the world. It's a pandemic. You know what else? It's a pandemic. Bitcoin. Spread all over the world. And you know what? We want that to happen. Now, obviously, coronavirus, a lot of people don't want to have happen. But in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about coronavirus because I feel it's my duty to talk about this. Everybody's talking about it, but most of them are instilling fear, and furthermore, they don't actually have a medical education to where they can talk rationally about it. You see, I'm a trained veterinarian. Now granted, I'm not a human doctor. Not going to say that, but I have 4 years more medical training than any other college graduate. And furthermore, we study a lot of viruses, and cats, dogs, other animals get coronavirus. It doesn't present exactly as it does in humans, but they do get it. So I wanted to talk about coronavirus, talk about what's going on with it, the future of coronavirus, and its impact on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and global economy. So this chart right here, everybody's using this because it's just spreading. You can watch it. It's live. You can see what's going on. You can see where it's spreading. Oh my goodness, has it spread to where you are? How about you? Yeah, exciting. But you see, everybody's talking about this, all these red dots. But what people aren't talking about is what's right down here in the corner behind my head. So I will blow this one up. And actually, if we take a look at this, this is the number of cases in China in orange, other locations in yellow, and then total recovered in green. Now this, I think, is the most important map that anyone should be looking at in terms of coronavirus. You see, China had coronavirus before everybody else. Okay, that's where it came from. And if we take a look at the growth of coronavirus in China, it has a logarithmic curve, not an exponential one. Right now, other locations have an exponential one, which is what China had until about February 14th, so until Valentine's Day, they had exponential growth. But then it reached a point where everybody who's going to get infected got infected, okay? And they start to recover. And at that point, you can see the recovered people start to creep up. And since that time, February 14th until now, so February 14th, there were 66,000 people infected. Now, there's 81,000 people infected. So that's 15,000 more. Really not that much in terms of everything. So a quarter of the people have gotten infected over the past month since the 1 month out of the past 3 months. So basically it's leveling off. And as we look here, it's leveling off to flatline, meaning nobody more is getting infected. Okay? Everybody who's got it, who's going to get it in China, has already gotten it. But if we take a look here, the rest of the world, guess what? We're lagging behind because it didn't come to the rest of the world for roughly a month or two. Okay, so if we take a look, it wasn't really starting to pick up in the rest of the world until the end of February. So here it started to pick up in the end of January. So we have a month delay. So instead of February 14th, we have right around now, March 14th, where we should start to see some type of leveling off. That's what happens with viruses. Eventually, it infects everybody who it can infect. Now, how does this impact Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Well, we have dramatic drops in cryptocurrency prices, and extreme fear. If we look at the fear and greed index, people are fearful about coronavirus. They're fearful about this black swan event. They're fearful about the economy. They're fearful about a recession. And they're fearful about crypto. So, a couple other things about coronavirus before we get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So, there's a couple other graphs that you should see about this. So, this one says it's spreading rapidly. And it is, but like I said, leveling off in China. And if we actually take a look, the death rates in China have declined over time. So in the beginning, when it was new, a lot of people were dying. But guess what? Look at how dramatically that dropped off. Now, furthermore, older people have a much higher fatality rate. So everybody's fearful, and hopefully they're fearful because they care about their loved ones who may be older. But if you take a look at it, if you're less than 60, you have a 1 in 100 chance of dying if you actually get the disease. Okay? Other than that, 60 and older, you have higher rates. 80 plus, you're accounting for 20% of the deaths. Now, it is more severe than ordinary flu. So ordinary flu, out of 1,000 people who get it, 1 person dies. With this, out of 100 people who get it, 1 person dies. So 10 times more severe, more deadly. But still, it's not impacting that many people. Now, some people say it's more contagious than the ordinary flu. So if we take a look at COVID here, if 1 person gets it, they can infect 2 to 3 people. Versus the seasonal flu where they infect 1.5 people. So, it is more contagious, but really the biggest impact it is having is that it's shutting down borders. And that's a good way. It's a good thing. Because that actually, in a pandemic, that stops us from spreading. That stops it from going other places. But that's going to impact the economy. We've seen the stock market crash. We've seen gold, silver prices drop. We've seen Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin's first halving this year, where the price dropped by 50% in a day. So all this stuff we've seen. And this, I think, is the most significant impact of this actual virus. Because guess what? The virus is pretty much over. And I'll show you why towards the end of this episode. But the virus is pretty much over. The fear of it hasn't ended yet. I mean, I know where I am, all the large supermarkets are out of toilet paper and paper towels. I mean, I hope that in the years to come, they call this the toilet paper flu. Because that's what this was. Nobody got sick. Very few people got sick. But everybody bought toilet paper. You see, the seasonal flu kills about 200,000 people per year. This one has killed 5,000 people. Not really deadly, except if you're toilet paper. So, that is that. Now, this article here from the former Center for Disease Control director, okay? I think it's important. If you read this, it tells you a lot about the difference between COVID and influenza, but the most important thing is down here at the very bottom, as usually with these things. So he says, finally, most people who get the flu or COVID do well. 80 to 90% of those infected with the novel virus have mild, moderate, or no symptoms. However, many people die from it. This will be too many. Although the coronavirus pandemic will certainly get worse before it gets better, it will get better. And even at the worst of the coronavirus pandemic, many people won't get infected. And of those who do get infected, 99 out of 100 will recover. So it's responsible to be proactive now, but it's also good to keep in mind that this too will pass. As a matter of fact, Israeli research centers have developed a coronavirus vaccine. Now it needs to go through some clinical testing, but there's already a vaccine for it. So, that paired with this, it's coming to an end. So what does this mean for the future of coronavirus and Bitcoin? Well, first thing is, I thought this was pretty funny. There's actually people using this coronavirus map to spread malware. So if you have used this map and embedded it on your website or different things like that, you may actually have some malware where it's password stealing malware. So if you have done that, obviously keep a lookout for that. But the more important thing, I think the thing that we're all concerned about is about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because I'm invested in it. You're probably invested in it because you watch this channel. Other people may be invested in it too. So for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, things have been pretty red recently. Pretty darn red. As a matter of fact, if you look pretty much everywhere, everything in CoinMarketCap in the red. Now, the past week has been one of the worst weeks Bitcoin has seen ever. But the price could go down or the price could go up. There's two ways to look at something. So this chart here just shows Bitcoin in the descending trend since December. It's broken out of its 5-year ascending trend, but it has found very significant support right around this $3,800 area. That's an area where it has found previous support. It again bounced right off of there, and right now it's sitting around the $5,800 support. So, could price go down? Absolutely, price could go down. Could price go up? Yes, certainly. But does it really matter in the end? Now, obviously, if you're banking on it going up, yeah, it could matter. I mean, if this is having a big impact on your life, maybe you've been a little bit too heavily invested in Bitcoin. It could be a wise learning experience. But if Bitcoin does break to the downside of where it is right now, it would probably find support again at that $3,800 level. And if it were to break below there, potentially to the $2,500 level or $1,000 level. Now, do I see that being likely? No, absolutely not. But it is possible, because what we have right now is we have the world economy shut down. And really, the only reason for the increase in stock prices and things like that, aside from government pumping in trillions of dollars, is the world economy. So it's going to take a little while for that to recover. And until that does recover, yeah, the price may drop. But you know what? As Warren Buffett once said, it's good to be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. And I'll reference this chart once again. Right now, people are extremely fearful, which, not financial advice, but it may be a good idea to be extremely greedy in times like this. Because I'll tell you one thing, institutional investors who are stockpiling Bitcoin, like Grayscale and other people, are going to be buying it at a discount, at low prices. I mean, they probably had a lot of these buy orders set at $3,800. They might have bought up a lot of Bitcoin at that point. They're not going to be buying it when it reaches its highs at 13,000, at 20,000, or at wherever else it's going to be going. That's where they're going to be selling it. So, as for Bitcoin, price could go up, price could go down. Me personally, I haven't been trading this thing. Lots of people have made money. CryptoFace, he made hundreds of thousands of dollars shorting Bitcoin. And if you are a skilled trader, sure, you can do that. But me personally, I see Bitcoin as more of a long-term investment. There's a fixed supply and an exponentially growing population. Similar to real estate, it seems to be like a wise investment. So, coronavirus. Last thing I wanted to say about that was, I mentioned earlier how it's going to go away. It's going to pretty much disappear. I mean, I've been listening to people. There has not been a conversation I've had in the past 2 weeks where people have not mentioned coronavirus. It's just uncanny. But I've noticed that people are starting to joke about it a lot more now, which is good, because it's getting to the point where it's absurd. We hear about it everywhere. It's on every news channel, every Facebook, every social media, everything. And yet very few people have actually seen anybody or know anybody who's been infected by it. So, there's this from Sylvia Brown, where she actually predicted coronavirus back in 2008. However, listen to what she has to say. She says, around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, attack again 10 years later, and then disappear completely. So, what she's talking about, where it vanishes as quickly as it arrives, is this right here. It arrived, okay, in less than a month. From January 20th until February 20th, 70,000 people got infected in China. And then it disappeared. It came and infected, it disappeared. Exactly what she's talking about. Same thing is going to happen in the rest of the world. Right now, for the past month, we've seen that it came, it infected, and now it's bound to disappear. So, I just want to make that video for you guys because I know everybody is freaking out. They're losing their shit. Fear is all over the place, and people who have no right, not even no right, they have no business talking about this type of stuff are talking about it. They have no medical training, none whatsoever. They don't know anything about it other than that this graph is turning colors. So, I figured because I have gone through 4 years of medical training, I can give you a little bit better insight into what's going on with coronavirus and its potential impact on Bitcoin, and cryptocurrencies. So if you did appreciate that episode, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, share it with some friends. Also, guys, I am actually hiring now, so if you would like to work with me, I'm looking for someone who's badass with Photoshop, also a news aggregator, someone who'd be good finding stories on Twitter, different types of things like that, and also a business partner. So if you are interested, email me at the email right there, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.